What happened there? Well, then let's just go ahead and play this. It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 10th of June in the year of our Lord 2025. Season 15, episode 52. 721 times you have been welcome to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. After it's been 3 weeks since we were back, as we say, in the nurturing bosom of the mothership, but we are back. Alex out on assignment tonight. Of course, the last 2 weeks we were out at Riders Field having a blast. Man, I will say last week's show, although we had a lot of fun, the weather was gorgeous, which was nice for this time of year. Got to watch fireworks after the game. Had a great time. Thank you, Rachel, for hanging out with us last week. Had a blast with her on the show. But I am not alone. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast, and it is our season 15 finale. You can believe it. This Sunday, this show celebrates 15 years since the grand experiment began. We'll talk about all that later, but to my that way, our guest filling in for tonight, a man who is so dedicated to helping us out that he literally got off a plane 3 hours ago, and doggone it, he's on the show. LA is back. How are you, brother?
Hey, man, I'm fine. Hey, guys, thanks for having me on again. You know, straight off the jet lag and right here. Mr. Primetime is always ready to do his thing. It is the LA Night Show, and, you know, that's what I'm here for, man. CEO, Mr. Main Attraction, here for you guys, always.
And at the bottom of your screen is the official fact checker of Sooner Gator Productions, and a man who is carrying the world on his shoulders right now. You may know him as Zig Bunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
No comment on the weight of the shoulders. No comment. But
okay.
Dr. Pepper.
Now you got the blackberry.
Yep. Good stuff. Hey, LA, where'd you come in from?
I came straight out from NOLA.
NOLA. I've never been there.
Never been to New Orleans?
No.
You got to come, man. You got to take some time and go out there. I know New York is normally known as the city that never sleeps, but man, if you want a good time, you let those good times roll in New Orleans, man.
Before we go, we will talk.
New Orleans.
I know where to get the best fried seafood. Breaded,
gotcha.
Deep fried. We're talking soft shell crabs, breaded, fried. We're talking shrimp, big shrimp like this.
Dinner yet? Stop. Plus the fact that New Orleans isn't the city that never sleeps, because you'd have to have a curfew for that.
Yeah, that's true. It's just called New Orleans. I mean, they don't do anything.
You just watch. Is the sun up? Okay, it's daytime. Is it not? Okay, it's nighttime. That's all you got.
That's true.
But we are going to get this thing moving. Of course, it is our season finale, and we're going to do all that cool stuff later. But let's dive right in. Some sports news. Congratulations to Sam Darnold. He got engaged this last week because the NFL always going.
Yeah.
4 weeks, boys. 4 weeks to preseason. And 8 weeks until all is right in the world.
I did forget, and I apologize. I slept since then. Who's doing the Hard Knocks preseason? What team?
It's Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And USF announcing today that their on-campus stadium will be ready for the 2027 season. So anytime there's USF news, that. And it's going to be on campus. And I still haven't figured out where they're putting it, because they have no room left. They have no land. So, I now have my mother-in-law convinced to watch the Savannah Bananas. Are you guys watching this stuff? This is fantastic,
dude. Classic. I can't pick my favorite. I can't pick my favorite routine. Those guys are just they're always in sync. They know exactly the moves and all that. They're great, man. They're great.
Well, and we have a team in that league now. We have the Texas Tailgaters.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
And well, I was over at my mother-in-law's house over the weekend because we were celebrating my birthday late. And they sold out Fenway.
What?
Fenway was packed, bro.
They're coming to Frisco.
Yeah. Get ready because and you have they are so popular that you have to enter a lottery system to get tickets to the game.
You're kidding me.
This is a real thing, dude. They are huge. And
wow.
For people that don't understand, it's called Banana League Ball because they play by kind of different rules. You don't only in the 9th inning do all of your runs count. And it's on a timer. You have 2 hours. So if you don't get 9 innings in 2 hours, it's over, it's over, it's over. The way it works is you play an inning, and the team that gets more runs, the most runs in that inning gets a point.
Okay.
And then in the last inning, all the runs count as points.
Okay.
At the 1 hour mark, no matter what is going on, they stop for a halftime show.
Nice.
It could be in the middle of a batter. Nope. 1 hour, stopping for a halftime show. This last weekend at Fenway, it was All-American Rejects because the All-American Rejects are doing this thing where they're just doing a bunch of pop-up shows.
Yeah,
because they're trying to combat like the secondhand market and stuff. Okay. So they were there and they were playing guys' theme songs up to the plates. They got somebody that walks on stilts. That's a pitcher. These guys sometimes they'll like go to catch the ball, but they'll volleyball it up and then the other guy grabs it. One guy does backflips and he catches the ball. I love this. I am so here for this. I am all in.
That guy bats on stilts and runs on the stilts.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, if the guy gets 4 balls in a quote walk,
it's not a walk. He
starts running.
Yeah.
And then what happens is everybody all 9 players have to touch the ball before they can take him out. So he can run to second. So
ESPN is showing the games.
They have to touch the ball before they can take him out.
Yeah. They're showing the games too?
ESPN is showing the games that they don't show on YouTube. Shout out YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, this is huge. And friend of the show, Tanya from Allied, her son works for them now.
That's dope.
So shout out to Fisher, man, getting a job.
That is crazy. I'm a fan. I love it. I love what they're doing, man. It's bringing excitement, and you know what? It may be helping in Major League Baseball out a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the MILB, which the Frisco Rough Riders are part of. You can see. I don't know if you can see it, LA, but I've got the Rough Riders do a bunch of different stuff. Like during the state fair, they become the Frisco Corny Dogs. And so it's a corny dog with like FDR's face on it. And then they have their Hispanic Heritage Night. They become the Quesos de Frisco.
Nice. I like that.
You see the hat? It's up top there. Let me grab it for you.
Okay.
This is the Quesos.
So my question is, why didn't they try when they come to Frisco? Why didn't they just try to put like in the old Ranger Stadium or Globe Life? That's my question.
They might be playing at Toyota Field for all we know. And this is when they salute to the Negro Leagues. They had the Black Giants.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
Shout out to the Rough Riders for giving us props to use. But while we're talking baseball, it's All-Star Weekend, boys. We are at the halfway mark, if you can believe it, of the season. So everybody takes a break, but we're still going to go through standings because we have to play North America's favorite game show. In the American League, in the AL East, the Baltimore Orioles still trying to get to 500. They're 8 games below 500 and 11.5 back in the division. They're 6 back of Boston. Boston's a game and a half back of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays are now 2.5 back of the Yankees. The Yankees now 2.5 back of Toronto, but Toronto just lost the game. Yankees have gained 3. In the AL Central, the White Sox. Now, Don, remember last year, the White Sox were North America's favorite game show. I'm going to give you a little taste, little preview.
Okay.
Right now, the Chicago White Sox have a run differential of -92.
Okay.
Go to the All-Star break. They are 27 and a half games back in the division, but they're in the same division as Detroit. So, and KC's on a 4-game heater. The White Sox are now 13 games back on Cleveland. If you want to know how bad that's going. Cleveland is now a game back on Minnesota. The Twins are a half game back on Kansas City, but Detroit has a 13-game lead over Kansas City in that division at the break.
Jeez.
I want to know what the odds were on that preseason because nobody was paying attention to the Tigers. In the AL West, Athletics playing on a team that has no city. They're 17 and a half back in the division. They are 7 and a half back of the Rangers. The Rangers now a half game back of Law. Law is 3 back on Seattle. Seattle now 6.5 back on Houston. In the National League, where are you, National League? There you go. The Colorado Rockies. Put a pin in it. They are, so we'll just go to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona is 9.5 games back in the division. They're 3.5 back of San Diego. The Padres are a game back on the Giants. And San Francisco, by the way, actually, we'll talk about that later. San Diego, put a pin in it. And San Francisco now 5 back on the Dodgers. I'm taking a dramatic pause for the Dodgers. In the NL Central, Don, your Pittsburgh Pirates. They're still pretty bad.
They're trash. They're trash.
But you know, you're only what 18 games below 500. You're 17 and a half back in the division. You are 10 games back of Cincinnati. The Reds now a game and a half back of the Cardinals. St. Louis 4 back of Milwaukee, and the Brewers are now 2 back on Cubs. And in the only division that matters, the NL East. The Nationals, they're still pretty bad. They're 15 and a half games back. They are currently 2.5 back of my beloved Braves, who are just stinking up the joint. And the Braves are now a game and a half back of the Marlins. The Marlins now 10 games back of the Mets. The Mets are only a game and a half back of the Phillies at this point. All right, boys, let's get into North America's favorite game show. What is the run differential for the Colorado Rockies to wrap up the first half of the season? LA, what you got?
You know I don't like going first. I'm gonna say -132.
-132 is LA's. Alex has checked into the chat room. I was in the wrong tab. He says they've sold out. The Bananas have sold out Fenway twice, and they're going to have Banana Balls coming to the CW. So they're going to have a network deal.
Sweet.
All right, Don, what you got?
232.
232.
-232.
Of course. Because if it was positive, we talk about it. The Colorado Rockies are currently, right now, after playing 93 games.
93.
They are 21 and 72. That is a 226 win percentage.
God.
They are, remember I said Arizona was 9.5 back?
Yeah.
That still puts them 25 games ahead of the Arizona's 25 games ahead of Colorado. They are 34 and a half games back.
What? Okay, serious question. How does Colorado still afford the Rockies?
Because they still get their fans. Those fans still come out in droves. You realize technically they are on pace for 42 and 144.
That is absolutely absurd.
Actually, it's not
LA.
that.
It's kind of like how with the Broncos, how they'll have trash years, but they still sell out. the waiting list is 20 years to try to get on the waiting list for season tickets, all that. They're just rabid.
God.
They are 10-36 at home. They're 11-36 on the road. So they are consistent.
Yeah, you're mad.
They're 3-7 in their last 10, and that's only because they're on a 3-game heater.
Jeez.
You remember what I said the White Sox were at? Don, remember what I said the White Sox were at?
Yeah, like negative 93 or something.
The Colorado Rockies currently have a run differential at the break of a minus 251.
I was about to say 250.
And this is a team that's put up 328 runs this year, but has given up almost 600 runs at the break. The exact number of runs they have given up are 579.
Again, I say, how can Colorado afford this team?
They could have the record before Labor Day at this point.
What do you mean the record?
They could be
the worst.
The run differential record.
Yeah.
That's 700.
Minus 700 is the record?
I was looking last week. They're talking from 1890. There was one team.
Oh.
Modern era.
Okay, yeah.
Well, okay. But you're talking
more than a century has passed, like a full century. Let's maybe take those out. That's like one of my favorite Dennis Miller bits of all time was he was talking about global warming. He goes, we have to do it now because if we're comparing it to 100 years ago, I can't use readings of when we didn't go to the bathroom indoors. Like, the records. Yeah, I believe in climate change. Don't get me wrong, but that was funny. But yeah, I mean, they could be at the 3-century mark within a couple of weeks at this rate.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
It's insanity.
And they
but it's why we play North America's favorite game show. It's exactly why we play the game.
Guys, every game they show up, every home game, they're there.
Okay, so 1899, the Cleveland Spiders were negative 723. They allowed 1,252 runs while scoring 529.
The what?
Yep.
The Cleveland Spiders?
Yep.
Back then, like the home run wall was like 150 feet. But only explanation I have.
So did they only have insects living at the time? Okay. No animals were thought about.
They were playing at Little League Stadium.
638. 496 in 1897 for the St. Louis Browns.
Don, can we at least get past 1970?
Okay, 1890, 1895, 1819. Okay, 1932. Red Sox were negative 345 in 1932.
They can have that by Labor Day. I stand by this.
Yeah, you got a point.
Modern era.
They're not far off.
Oh.
No, it goes from 723 to 638. Then it starts going to 500, negative 400s. So, like, number 3 is not negative 496 in 1897. And then the Colonels were negative 459 in 1890. But still, they can get up there.
Don't even exist anymore.
I don't.
So they can break records of teams that don't even freaking exist anymore. And you got people still spending their hard-earned money going to these games, wearing those jerseys and hats.
Ask me again why I look forward to Thursday nights. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, put it this way. The Buffalo Bisons of 1890 were negative 406.
The Buffalo Bisons. That's still not modern era, Don.
I know.
No, well, just, the team doesn't even exist, and they're
about to. That's on a different team in the same city now.
I know. Red Sox. But the current teams, the Nationals were negative 347, and the Boston Red Sox were negative, in 1932, were negative 345.
Still reachable.
Yeah, I know.
Reachable. That's all I'm saying.
Absurd, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. You know what? And I won't even lie to you guys. I remember when I was probably about 13. I think I bought a freaking Colorado Rockies hat. Just it was the 90s. I mean,
But they were fashionable in the 90s.
Yes. And that's just absurd, man.
Because they were brand new.
Alex entered the chat on my end and said Colorado sells edibles at their concession stands.
Okay. I will neither confirm
you know
nor
what?
deny, but it wouldn't shock me.
If that's the case, I'm going.
Okay, but modern era, the Athletics were in 2023 were negative 339. That's modern era.
Still reachable.
Oh, they'll have that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they'll have it.
They'll have that.
Be by social media tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are making a major announcement. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but if you are local in the DFW area, we have something really cool to announce tomorrow. So follow us on your TikToks, follow us on your X Twitter, follow us on all the things. Because it'll be me making this huge announcement tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty awesome. I'm excited about it. But you also need to follow all the great shows right here at Sunset Lounge DFW. Whether it's Your Dark Companion with Mike Reiner, whether it's Shippy and Groobs. They just had a brand new episode yesterday. Groobs had a birthday this week. Had a bunch of us birthdays in the last couple of weeks. The Angle. Beer 30 Sports O'Clock with our dude Ziggy, Al Maximo, and then just this week announcing Norm Hitzkiss has a show on the network. Another Dallas and national radio legend. We've got some there's something for everybody at Sunset Lounge DFW. Make sure you're following all the shows because you never know. We might have something, and then Al Maximo might have something, and then Reiner might have something, and Grooves might. You don't even know. We can't be predicted. So be by the channel tomorrow. I'm going to make a huge announcement. Also, remember that every Thursday night during the Rough Riders season, it is Thirsty Thursday. The Lazy River is 21 and up only during Thursday nights. There's drink specials. If you haven't been to a Rough Riders game, you need to. It is so much fun. Don and I can both attest to it because we were there for the last 2 Thursdays. That Lazy River gets packed, bro. Packed. And one of the best cheesesteaks you'll have outside of Philly is served at that ballpark. And I ain't scared to say it.
So you put that sauce on top.
It's a spicy mayo. That's what he's talking about. But it's really good, LA. You got to try. It's called Frisco Philly. No
spicy mayo is delicious, so give me extra of that.
Bro, you come out, we'll go to a game. I'll take you over there. Frisco Philly, they ain't playing.
I'm down.
No free ads, but man, that food. All right. It's now to get to television and stuff we watched this week. TV stuff.
You're going to work on that drop.
I'm waiting for you, bro. You told me you were going to send me music.
I got to send you drops. You're right. I got you.
Nothing on TV that I'm one episode behind on Lego Masters. John Oliver's off till the 27th. Wrexham we talked about last week, wrapping up. LA, anything you're watching on TV right now that you want to talk about?
I know that a couple of series I was watching ended recently, but the most recent that's top of mind that I can come up with. I know Poker Face wrapped up its second season maybe a couple weeks ago. Last of Us wrapped up its weird second season that nobody saw ending about a couple months ago, I think. And I mean, I'll admit, I play the video game. So timing wise, perfect. But you didn't let anybody know. I think Dead City for Walking Dead just ended its second season last 2 weeks ago. But I am looking forward to Dexter Resurrection, July 11th. Let's freaking go.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anything for you on a TV?
Which is July 11th. Yeah.
That's 13th. It's Sunday. I could be wrong. on
I thought
Dexter.
I said 11. I could be. Look,
Dude,
He's
you're
already-
the
I think he-
you're the fact checker.
Sunday. All right. We did.
You got me acting like Rob here and checking you. I mean, come on. this guy here, this guy right here, down there, that guy.
God.
So we because we binged Squid Games last week for last show. We did finish up Duster from Cinemax on Max.
Oh
or
yeah,
Max.
Duster was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, we finally finished that, and then we started watching Waterfront, the new series on on Netflix, which is eight episodes. We watched about 4 so far. We're basically, you have these people that own a boat in the Gulf area, and they're and they own a restaurant, but it's starting to go under. So they're traveling drugs for the sheriff to make do.
As
and
you
now
do.
it's kind of not going good. So pretty good.
I don't know if you guys saw, but ESPN right now is showing the Lakers Mavericks Summer League game. Tickets for that were going for $2,000 because of Cooper Flag.
Wow.
For a Summer League. Kidding me? A company called the Nacelle Company, they're kind of an independent television network. They are reviving a show. LA, this might have been maybe your era.
And just as the fact checker, it's July 11th.
There it is, tomorrow. The Nacelle Company is reviving an old animated series called Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Do you remember this thing?
Woo. Faint.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. They had toys and everything. It was kind of in the early to mid 90s. So they haven't said where it's going to be yet, but it was big there for a minute. Speaking of revivals and things of that nature, this weekend is Retro Expo at the Plano Center. I will be there. I'll be interviewing Ernie Reyes Jr., which I'm very much looking forward to. You've known him from a bunch of different stuff. Also, I'll be interviewing WWE Hall of Famer Sergeant Slaughter. So get ready for that. And for the second time this year, I am interviewing Jeff Steitzer. He is the guy that's best known as the voice of the tournament announcer in all the Halo games. Excellent human. Big fan. Looking forward to this weekend. Come see me at the Plano Center. We're going to have a blast. Craig from Matinee Heroes is coming into town. We're going to do 2 episodes of Matinee Heroes. We're going to talk about the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And we're going to talk about Superman 2, which I've watched both of them this week. And I'm not saying anything, but one of those was more of a slog than I expected. So ABC has officially announced. Don?
There's going to be one. I'll tell you off air, but there's one question. And this is a very professional question. If you possible, I'd like you to ask Sergeant Slaughter. It is a legit wrestling question. Consider it. Okay.
If you tell me, I will take it under advisement.
Thank you.
If you say. ABC has officially greenlit the Scrubs reboot, and you will have Donald Faison and Sarah Chalke joining Zach Braff. So 3 of your major stars are coming back now.
Okay. I don't want to be a hater. The Scrubs thing. I mean, you like it or you don't. It didn't do much for me.
I could have taken it or left it. You know. Apple TV has renewed Murderbot for season 2. This is about a sentient being, a security robot that actually becomes fully aware, but he doesn't want anybody to know.
Isn't it like a comedy / drama?
Like a dramedy. That's kind of what
okay.
ESPN. Hear me. ESPN is doing something, and I'm not happy about it.
What they got?
They are doing a 4-part series called Running with the Wolves.
Okay.
This will feature Kelly Ripa and her husband, Mark Consuelos. I have no problem with them.
Okay.
But the concept of the show, Don, pay attention, because I'm angry.
Kelly Ripa.
In 2022, they bought an Italian soccer club.
Kelly Ripa?
And her husband.
Okay.
Called Campobasso FC.
No.
And now they have a 4-episode show about it.
No.
No. No, 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 no,
No. No.
You will not be welcome to Wrexham.
No.
Don got this for me from there. I got a
No.
kid sitting in the closet right there. I know. Stop this.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too, man. I'm voting no.
To make it even matter, they're doing the same thing with Tom Brady's team that he bought.
Yeah, but Tom Brady bought an upper league team. There's no underdog story there.
No.
Well, still, his team, they were struggling. They're doing
better. I already saw Wrexham. I don't want to watch. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it again.
And Wrexham has not done a bad episode in 5 doggone seasons.
Yeah.
And it's ESPN's behind it. No thanks. No thanks.
So boo.
I understand the anger.
I love you. You're the worldwide leader. But no.
I understand the anger.
Fox they're doing a Lego Masters spinoff. It'll be Lego Masters Junior. It's going to kick off August 18th, hosted by Kelly Osbourne.
Yeah.
I'll check it out because I like Lego Masters. This season's been kind of
it's just, what is Kelly doing there? Is it just for money grab?
Well, her dad officially did the last show with Sabbath, so let's see here. HBO Max, which is official now.
Okay, I'm mad about that. Why did you go from HBO Max to Max just to go back to HBO Max?
I never stopped calling it that. I said it's going to come back around because, number one, if you were going to shorten it, you picked the wrong part of the brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it's now official because even on my Roku today, it said HBO Max on the screen.
Absurd. And you know what, Rob? Do you know that they never even removed the old HBO Max app? Like it would just tell you to go to Max instead. What are we doing?
Alex called me. He was so mad when they announced this. He's like, I hate it when stuff pays off for you. I was like, it did though.
It's so stupid.
They have canceled Duster after one season.
No! Oh my God, no!
Announced it today.
No. It was good. I could see. I'll just say that they didn't leave anything hanging like Deadwood. So I'll give them that. You know what I'm saying? But
it was different, man.
They've greenlit another Big Bang Theory spinoff.
No! Oh God, no!
This will be.
My phone fell. I'm so ticked. My phone fell. I'm so mad. I'm so angry. I'm so angry right now.
So, this is the third one if you count the spinoff of the spinoff, because you had Young Sheldon,
which is classic,
and then they spun off George and Mandy's First Marriage.
Man.
And now you're getting a spinoff from the Big Bang Theory called Stewart Fails to Save the Universe.
No thanks. No thanks.
Kevin Sussman, Lauren Lapkus, Brian Posehn, who I like, and John Ross Bowie.
No thanks.
But another announcement that came today that I'm kind of interested in. As we know, next year is the bisesquicentennial of America. 250 years America. The Obamas are teaming up with Larry David.
Yes.
To do a sketch comedy show based on U.S. history.
I love it.
Have a real Curb Your Enthusiasm feel to it. Let's go.
I love it.
Let's make it happen.
I'm still angry about Duster.
NBC Peacock has announced the Office reboot, kind of, sort of, called The Paper. It's gonna kick off September 4th on Peacock.
Why?
I'm interested. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm interested. So, lot of Netflix news this week. Season 3 of Alice in Borderland will kick off in September.
Yeah.
Season 4, they've announced, of Ryan Murphy's Monster, where he's talking about serial killers.
Yes.
Season 4 is going to focus on Lizzie Borden.
Oh.
Season 3 of Dinner Time Live with David Chang will hit next month. They have another show that I've never heard of. It's from Korea. It's called Culinary Class Wars.
Oh, I've been watching that.
Season 2. They've renewed it for season 2. This is where 80 local cooks go up against 20 renowned celebrity chefs. Sounds like a pretty
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, what happens on that one is the first round was there was 80 and they went down to 20. Then you had the 20 versus the 20, and yeah.
Season 2 of Wednesday will kick off August 6th. Some of the pictures have already shown up from that. And then season 10 of Queer Eye will be the final for Netflix. But they have renewed Squid Game: The Challenge for season 3. Season 2 hasn't even kicked off yet. They filmed it.
I'm done.
That's the ripoff of the original Squid Game that they did a couple of years ago, whereas the American version where nobody died.
Well, it's an actual game show, Don.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You can't kill people.
Can I say one last thing about Duster? I'm sorry, guys. I'm beating this horse. Do you know that Dusters was rated at 92% on Roddy T's?
I don't know.
Continue. I'm sorry. And
they have renewed Virgin River for season 8, which is now its longest running scripted show in its history. Didn't know there was a seasons 1 through 7. Have you seen this thing on Netflix House, LA? That we're getting later this year at the Galleria?
Yes. When is that? What?
It's going to open before the end of the year. It's going to be at the Galleria. I thought it was going to be its own thing, but it's going to be at the Galleria.
And it's themed with all their popular shows or whatever, right?
I think it's the 5 shows that'll be represented. And from what I've read, you'll be able to do like a storyline through all 5 if you want to do like an immersive experience.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And back over Mania weekend, Alex and I were both in Vegas, and we went to the Netflix restaurant at the MGM Grand, and it was a lot of fun, and the food was good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Bring your checkbook. But
right.
It was good. Very, very enjoyable. I had the WWE burger.
Oh, please tell me what was on that.
It was just a burger, but it had a little toothpick on top that had a little replica of the Universal Championship on it, which I still have around here somewhere. But no, I liked it. I thought the food was good. The service was good. They had paintings that were like representative of the shows.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. They could even name the condiments the RKO ketchup or the you can't see cheese.
But I will tell you a couple of things, since we haven't talked about this in a while. There's a couple of things that were really cool. They have an appetizer that's based on Squid Game.
Okay.
And they bring out a replica of the baby, and there's a wheel on it and all these sauces, and you spin the wheel, and whatever happens, you have to eat. And then they have a dessert that's a chocolate volcano, and everybody at the table gets a gummy bear, and you put the gummy bear on anywhere you want on the volcano, and when it erupts, the person that has the gummy bear that's still standing at the end wins, and it collapses in on itself, and it looks fantastic.
Okay.
You enjoy, and they have props from the shows and stuff. It's kind of cool. All right, and PBS has said that Grantchester will end with season 12, if you're watching that show. Let's move on, because it's time for movie talk and stuff we watched this week in a movie theater or on a screen near you because you streamed it or rented it or bought the DVD or Blu-ray.
We need some new drops.
I can say that I mentioned earlier, I watched the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched Superman 2 this week. I did, for those of you that are collectors like me, July is the month that Barnes & Noble is doing 50% off all of their Criterion collection stuff. So I picked up some titles that I've been waiting for a long time from Barnes & Noble. I picked up Malcolm X, which I'm very much looking forward to dissecting that Blu-ray. A 2-pack of the 3 Musketeers and the 4 Musketeers from the 70s. They did The Wiz.
Really?
You see how that goes. I got a handful of stuff, so I'm very excited to watch some of that stuff that I've got. So, congratulations to the Scarlett Johansson. She is now Hollywood's highest-grossing actor. Lead actor. After Jurassic World Rebirth starts out with over $300 million.
People love dinosaurs, man.
I said in my review, currently located at www.theclubhousepodcast.com.
Tight.
Thank you. As long as there are kids, there will always be dinosaurs. There will always be dinosaurs. Thank you.
And as long as there's Mike Reiner, he loves dinosaurs.
Not a great movie, though.
No.
Yeah.
Don and I both were very meh on it.
Yeah.
John M. Chu, who you might know from directing some of the Fast and Furious movies, he's going to direct the Hot Wheels movie.
Okay.
And Don, who's in the Hot Wheels movie?
Is it the Juan Chena?
It's John Cena.
Remind me to watch it.
A movie that I did enjoy, however.
Well, it's weird though, because if he's in it, it's not like we're gonna be able to.
Well, you'll see the car. You'll just think the car's driving itself.
Okay, so
gotcha.
Rob, you
yeah.
forgot to ask what I saw this week. I took your recommendations. I watched Heads of State.
Good.
Not bad. It is what it is.
Fun. It is
but
a
I did watch
popcorn movie. It is fun.
Yeah, but I also watched Jackpot.
Did I do you wrong? I love that movie.
Yeah.
So you had a John Cena double feature this weekend.
I know. I had to have that wife help me watch. Go through it and sit down and
LA, put those both in your queue if you haven't watched them yet.
I think I saw Jackpot. I didn't finish it, but
Aquafina.
Yeah, but I definitely want to watch Heads of State. Yeah,
it is so much fun, dude. Him and Idris. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's called Jolly. And it's named after the two guys that founded it, Josh and Ollie, and they go around and they try different foods. They had Idris Elba and John Cena, and they compared an English breakfast to an American breakfast. And it's so great. Now, Idris Elba is the first part of it because they do the American breakfast, and then John Cena goes over to England to promote the movie, but Idris wasn't with him.
So they just showed an empty seat and some food disappearing automatically or something like that.
Heads of State is so much fun. It is so much more fun than it has any right to be. And they have great chemistry and work well together.
You know what? It's making me believe in Peacemaker's next season more because the first one was okay.
I liked season 1, but I have to see Superman before season 2 starts because there's going to be some crossover.
Oh, okay.
So, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Another movie I did enjoy, and you need to see it in IMAX, F1 the movie is now Apple's highest grossing film ever, beating out Napoleon from a couple years ago.
I don't know why the F1 movie, every time they make an F1 movie, I get turned off by it. I don't know why. This
is just brainless fun. It really, really is. I really enjoyed it. So, Dune Messiah will not be Dune Messiah. It will have the very creatively named Dune Part 3.
Oh, okay. They really went to well on that one.
They went for it.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt will be returning as Garfield for a sequel to that animated movie, which I very much enjoyed.
What isn't he in?
If your name is Chris, you're everywhere. You're
yes.
Pratt, whether you're Evans, we're getting a reboot of Night at the Museum. Don, that'll be great for you.
I don't think it's not going to touch. It's not going to touch the other ones.
No, because Robin Williams made it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And Guy Ritchie now not directing Roadhouse 2. I enjoyed that spiritual sequel because it's not a reboot. It's not a remake.
You mean the one with Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. If you just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just another remake, like the Footloose and all the other. But I could be wrong.
I consider, like I said, I consider it a spiritual sequel because it's not a straight up remake.
Yeah.
So. Movies and new release movies and places you get new release this week. Of course, this is the weekend for James Gunn's Superman. I find some time to watch it. I just don't know when.
Are you excited about it? I don't feel excitement.
I'm cautious. Like I said earlier, I'm cautiously optimistic
because I like who's behind it. Because James Gunn is. I mean,
I'm just worried that they're trying to put too many people in it.
Okay.
So, but I've heard it's got some silliness to it.
Especially for the first one, because the first one didn't have a lot of cameos like that.
Yeah. So this apparently it's getting really, really good reviews. So
okay, good.
We also have a movie called Sovereign this week. This has Nick Offerman, Jacob Tremblay, and Dennis Quaid in it. It's a A father and son who identify as sovereign citizens, a group of anti-government extremists, find themselves in a standoff with a chief of police that sets off a manhunt. And this is considered a comedy.
This is on the...
Oh, no, sorry, it's a drama. I was looking at the wrong one. It's a drama, yeah.
So it's released this week?
Yeah.
Okay. I never even saw a thing about it.
You also have a movie called Abraham's Boys. Abraham Van Helsing moves his two sons to the United States in an attempt to escape their past. You want to guess what their past is? Van Helsing.
What?
Van Helsing. Yeah. So you got that going for you.
Cool.
You also have a horror film called Skill House that has has Neil McDonough and the 50 Cent. A dark satire of social media and influencer culture, unflinching take on fame and what new celebrities are willing to do to attain it. Oh, this is, it's like they put a bunch of influencers in a house that turns into a reality show, and then things go horribly wrong.
No, you don't say.
Yeah, I have seen clips from this. Let's see. Movies on DVD and Blu-ray this coming week. We have a collector's edition of Battle Beyond the Stars, which is an old school Roger Corman film trying to capitalize on the success of Star Wars in the late 70s. We also have the unrated version of Blade Trinity, which probably means more Ryan Reynolds goodness. Marvel, let's get that movie back on track. I need to see Mahershala Ali as Blade.
I like that they took the gas off of him because he is a gem, but I don't want him being overdone.
Yeah. A movie that's been featured on one of my favorite podcasts besides this one called How Did This Get Made? Called Tammy and the T-Rex. We're getting an unrated version of that, so Lord only knows. Fury is getting the Steelbook treatment. Don, I believe you enjoyed that. That's the tank movie, right? RoboCop 2 is getting an limited edition Steelbook. Would you like your trivia on RoboCop 2? That ties to me.
What's that?
RoboCop 2 was the first R-rated movie I saw in a theater the day after I turned 17. That I could go see by myself.
He's only 17.
17.
Arrow Video doing an old school horror movie called Crumb Catcher, and your
Crumb Snatchers.
Catcher. The Criterion Collection this week is releasing. It's called The Adventures of Antoine Duanel. So it'll be the 400 Blows, Antoine and Colette, Stolen Kisses, Bed and Board, and Love on the Run are in that. I have got so much stuff on my desk right now, and I have to sort through it because I'm looking for something. Yes, there it is. We do want to send a shout out to one of our sponsors here at the show. Ellie, what if you could free yourself of pain, anxiety, and sleepless nights and do it naturally?
What? There's a such thing?
There is. One of our sponsors right here at Sunset Lounge DFW is the CBD House of Healing. This is a woman-owned CBD boutique who carries only products made from their lab. And it's meant to meet the highest of quality standards. And she's a registered nurse, so she knows what she's doing. YDC had her on a couple of months ago. Check out that episode. She emphasizes building trusted relationships through education because self-care really is the goal here. You can't take care of anybody else, can't take care of yourself.
Amen, brother.
So if you want to relieve yourself from aches and pains and sleepless nights and the energy drain that comes with all that, you can go to cbddallas.com. That is their website.
Because I got all of those things.
Their website.
The whole lot of them.
And the older we get, the more we have them, brother.
Yeah.
But they're also, you can go, they have a brick and mortar store at 8550 Plano Road, Suite 101 in Dallas. Groobs and Reiner were over there a couple of weeks ago doing a show, so you can see how the layout is. Get the healing you need at the House of Healing. Shout out to CBD House of Healing for being one of our sponsors right here at a little thing we like to call Sunset Lounge DFW. And now, this. Time to get into the second half of this show called The Cheap Podcast. It is your one-stop shop for all things in the world of professional wrestling. And we are here. I'm now seeing a commercial on the S-Spin. Apparently, Wendy's is now doing a Takis and Fuego chicken sandwich and Fuego fries. No, thank you. Hard pass.
Not. Yep.
Put your seatbelts on, kids, because we got a lot going on this weekend. Collision is on tonight from our Fairburg. Tomorrow night, Super Card of Honor. Saturday, NXT's Great American Bash. All in Texas. Saturday night's main event. Sunday night, WWE Evolution. And it is official. Your ring announcer for WWE Evolution. Welcome home to Lillian Garcia. Very excited.
Yeah, you had me thinking it was gonna be our girl, Ricochet's wife.
Oh no, she's living her best life right now. She's got a. Did you see? Have you heard her song? She got a track out.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah,
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's no main attraction. Don't get me wrong. But I think you froze up on us there, LA.
I'm back.
Okay,
All right.
Okay. Speaking of people marrying other people, congratulations to a newly engaged couple in Kalani Jordan and Carmelo Hayes.
Yes.
I saw something a few months ago about that on X Twitter, and I was like, "Is that really a thing?" And Alex was like, "I don't know," but they're engaged now, so mazel tov to those kids.
And one thing I can say is that it is true when he tells you that Melo don't miss.
He's not quite hitting the mark right now. Need to get him back on track. Survivor Series is set for November 29th, and it will be at Petco Park in San Diego. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Because I don't think they've done Survivor Series. If they've done the Rumble in a baseball stadium, we've done Mania in a baseball stadium. SummerSlam, that's a virtual impossibility to find a park that you can have a team on the road that long to do. But we're going to see Petco Park, San Diego, November 29th. They announced that the other night. And they have announced a partnership. You will have a WWE-themed Universal Halloween Horror Night. They're going to announce that later this month. So if you're a fan of that, I'm not, but, do that. And your first WWE ID champions will be crowned August the 1st, SummerSlam weekend in East Rutherford at GCW presents the ID Showcase. So we saw Triple H showed the belts a few months ago. Your first ID champions will be crowned there. I don't know if it does anything for them, but And I would like to say praise the baby Jesus that SmackDown is back to 2 hours.
Yeah,
because man, that can be a slog. The episode, the 19th, the August 19th episode of NXT is going to be in Philly at the Met. They've announced they're going to do a quick shot there. And Sol Ruca is still your women's speed champion. So update your roster accordingly there. Get the belt that they show like once every 6 months on television. And I don't know if NXT was the first time they mentioned it, but calling Maxine Dupree and the Natty the Dungeon Dolls, I kind of dig it.
Okay.
I can't say it's a bad name.
Yeah.
Because I am looking forward to Evolution. I think it's going to the first one I very much enjoyed. They're really trying not to trick it up as much this time because you've got enough roster that this should be a good show on Sunday night. So I'm probably going to watch it on delay because I got to get Craig back to the airport. I'm going to have a lot to watch next week. I'm kind of bummed Alex isn't here for this next one, even though he's not as much of a fan as he used to be. Danhausen's a dad.
Danhausen's a dad?
They have a son whose name is Victor Morgan Danhausen, who was born on my birthday. Add that one to the list. The roof will be closed for all in Texas, they said. I think
it should be.
I think it's just because the weather here has been so unpredictable lately.
Yeah, should be.
I'm hoping. I'm looking. It's still weird that they're doing it 2:00 in the afternoon Central. But
it's AEW. What do you expect?
I would have took him on. I wouldn't have moved the time.
And they would have been on earlier than Saturday night's main event anyway. But, you know. Red Velvet now saying she is injured, but it's not too bad, but she's going to be out for a little while. And we had the return of Red Velvet. Come on, man. Scorpio Sky returned on Collision last week.
I saw that.
I like him. I'm a big fan. We are big fans on this show of him. So
now, is this a return just to go away again? Return?
As long as he can stay healthy. He's just been getting injured a lot the last few years. But I appreciate that AEW sticking with him because the dude's mad talented.
Yeah, he is.
You know, I miss having all three of SoCal Uncensored together, but Frankie just wants to be the king of TNA. So, you know. And we got Slammiversary coming up. And LA, I don't know if you saw, but I don't know if they're going to offer it again. But before the spring, they did an offer for TNA Plus. I now pay quarterly and I get the pay-per-views. So I'm very much enjoying having the pay-per-views available to me. So
okay.
That's all the stuff I've got from wrestling this week, boys. Do you have anything that you want to talk about? Because we haven't talked about wrestling in almost a month.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead, Don. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think the big surprise this weekend at All In.
Okay.
I think during the Texas Death Match, Darby Allin.
Yeah, I can see that. He's had a lot of time off.
Yeah, but I don't know what he gains to like. I understand the logic of him getting involved in that match. I just don't know what that serves the story. Now, does he return at some point during All In? That I would sign off on. But I think if he does return, it's going to be during the Young Bucks tag match.
That's what I was thinking. Is more or less let's take the power out and then all of that. And to be honest with you, I am 50-50 in the way in which they booked that Moxley and Hangman match.
But wasn't Moxley the one that took him out?
Yes.
And then I think that's where Don may be going with that. And I see that. It's just been so long. Like they're gonna have to
doing Everest. You know, he couldn't come. He had to take like 2 weeks off just to decompress. You know,
right? But you'd have to do something like maybe they tease something on Collision tonight.
Yeah,
because it'll be a big deal, but you're gonna have to retell the story.
Yeah, because nobody knows it. Nobody remembers that. All we know is that I'll say this. I like the Hangman fall from grace, got to kind of find his footing, had the beef with Swerve, which in turn helped both of those guys out. And then Hangman kind of like, I don't deserve this. I don't really want to go for anything, man. You know what? Second thought, maybe it is my time, etc. But it's tied nothing in all this time with Moxley. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, this Death Riders thing, I don't want to say it's run its course, but we've got to do something with it.
But I feel that they feel the same way about the Death Riders as they do the WWE felt about the Bloodline.
It does.
I think that they need to do something. I really think that if it ends at All In, it's too cliche, and I think that that's what AEW tries to get away from. Because this looks like a face fest if we use wrestling logic. Yeah, it looks like an absolute face fest.
Now, one thing I could also see happening during the tag match with the Young Bucks, you could have the return of Jack Perry.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
They could set up like Blood and Guts and stuff like that too, if you bring new people in.
Yeah, but Blood and Guts is already passed, man.
Yeah, they already did that one.
That's like
which I thought was weird. Rob is like, why did they do it?
They normally do it in the early summer, so I don't even know if they're going to do it this year.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not going to try to.
But I thought they did it on because I thought it was Young Bucks and the Death Riders against the Swerve and
the arena match, but not Blood and
Guts.
That
was
okay. That's true. That's right. But I can't see. I guess Blood and Guts would make sense, but not right after All In.
I just don't want them to try to put that thing up against Survivor Series because they're going to get buried.
Yeah.
Because War Games is the OG. War Games is one of my favorite matches of all time. Of any gimmick match. I love War Games. Always have.
I'm a little biased about the both of the world title matches because I'm more okay if Tony Storm wins and retains because Sasha has like 25 belts.
Well, and then Tony Khan comes out earlier this week and says she doesn't have creative control. I'd like to see the paperwork on that.
Yeah.
And if it were me booking it, I'd have been like winner take all.
Yeah. But I don't know if Tony can get everybody else on board with that.
Yeah.
And does Tony drop Rob or does she?
I don't think I think this is going to be the thing that takes the Mercedes Moné character to an even crazier place because she's winning and winning and winning, and then the big one she doesn't win.
Yeah.
A good storytelling would be that her obsession now goes to a different level because she didn't get the one belt that was the one that was going to complete the set.
And I think that she starts to drop titles over and over and over. And then it'll set up a rematch between her and Tony because I don't think Tony drops it for a while.
This timeless Tony Storm character is one of my favorite things.
Right Dude, now. It's AEW's best thing, I think. I think out of all the years.
And the fact that they've just let her off the chain and let her do whatever she wants, brother.
Timeless Tony Storm is probably the best thing that AEW's done. And that's crazy to think.
Swerve, though. Swerve
hasn't been anything different, though.
Yeah, Swerve has always been Swerve.
But how they build him versus the other companies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they gave him Edge, which is kind of a play on what WWE did with Daniel Bryan. They gave him Edge. So
apparently AEW is very interested in Isla Dawn. So I'm a big Isla Dawn fan.
Yeah.
So let's bring her in.
I just don't I can't I know that they want to show their title because it is kind of weird for the AEW World Heavyweight Champion to not have a belt shown.
Yeah.
So I think that they made a new belt for this, which is why I feel it's a face fest because I feel like they're going to reveal the new AEW World Heavyweight Championship belt here for Hangman Adam Page. But I think to end the Death Rider story like this, it doesn't make sense unless John Moxley's leaving or something like that.
Whatever the next chapter is.
Right.
Because you've got the Death Riders going for the trios belts. You've got the Chris Statlander thing hanging out there.
The Ops thing they busted that. And I don't know if it's just because Hook is hurt or whatever. I really think that whole Ops thing is a bust.
Any excuse to have Samoa Joe on my screen, I'm good with.
Right, no, I absolutely agree.
That's
but
our guy,
the Ops thing is just it's bad though. It's bad. Yeah, it's pointless.
Well, it's not a good name. It's kind of like this Paragon thing.
Yeah, that's terrible too.
Let them be undisputed. That's it.
You already had it undisputed. Yeah. Why did you change?
I don't know. That was weird for me.
And then what happened to the learning tree? What did Chris Jericho do?
Jericho's touring right now.
Okay.
That's why he's off. Okay.
Yeah. But as we said at the top of the show, boys, this is the last episode of season 15 of this show, which it's the first time in a long time we've gotten to 52 shows in a year. The pandemic blew the wheels off of stuff. We had to readjust to being remote. We're still working on that, but I kind of want to talk about this past year on this show. When we first started this in July of 2010, I had no idea what we were doing. I knew I had the equipment. I knew I had the ability to do it. I couldn't fathom then what this would become, especially in the last 12 months. We have gotten to such a different level on every front. And this is kind of why I'm kind of bummed that Alex couldn't be here tonight, because I really wanted him to be a part of this discussion. Starting the end of last summer, when Kelly Kitchens, who I've always said, Kelly Kitchens and Gary Murray, those are the two people that without them, this show is nowhere close to what it is. We started to build some momentum. Part of the reason I wanted LA on this week, and I think we're going to have Steven on next week, these guys have ridden with us since they first heard the words of the Clubhouse podcast.
Yeah.
Don also. Don's rolled with us since season 2 of this thing. It's been a roller coaster. Whether it was Fox and Hound, whether it was hanging out with Big Don, God rest his soul, who really helped us get the ball rolling. Dallas International Film Festival, Dallas Video Fest, where we're watching a goat walk on a beam for some reason. Bart Weiss, everybody that's helped us out. But I really want to talk about the last year. And it all starts with Sunset Lounge. When I'm sitting having a sushi lunch with Becca Moore and Mike Reiner, and I'm doing everything in my power not to completely fanboy. I'm sitting in front of a guy that I've looked up to for 3 decades.
100%.
And to hear them say, yeah, we want you guys. I was like, you're talking to us, right? You sure? Okay, fair enough. And when that kicked off, we had the big crossover event on OU Texas weekend where I am sitting with Reiner and Grego, and we're just shooting the breeze. And to hear Reiner say after that lunch, I looked at Becca and said, we have to have these guys. I didn't know that until he said it live on air. So again, had to kind of do everything I can to keep from losing my mind at that moment. Then we had the big holiday party on Lois Greenville, and they mixed us all up. And that's where we really got to know Ziggy from Beer 30 Sports O'Clock and meet most of the family of because this network is a family. We all promote each other. We are all do crossover events. We love hanging out together. Alex did a show with Groobs out at the Rough Riders Field a few weeks ago. They had a blast. We had our first, the Bankhead Film Festival for the city of Garland this year, which was a number of students from around the area. And we got to, we were backstage doing that show. Don and I were there, and Alex was there. We've done Your Dark Companion twice. I did it myself. Alex was with me the second time, just sitting and shooting the breeze with Groobs and Becca and Mickey and Ashley, Ashley is the unsung hero of this network. She is the one that works in the shadows and makes sure all this stuff happened. So we want to make sure we shout her out, and just sitting with all of those guys and with Reiner and just shooting the breeze and having the best time. There's nobody on this network that I wouldn't hang out with. Everybody does amazing work. And now we have Norm, who I've met before, but it's been a very, very long time. I'm looking forward to maybe the day that I get to sit down with Norm and just go, Norm, just tell me stories.
Yes.
Because he's the guy's been around forever, and just new stuff. Every time I see my phone ring and I see Becca's name, I'm like, all right, something good's about to happen, because there's always stuff popping off, and there's stuff that we've got in the works that I can't wait to talk to you guys about. That we're, this thing's moving onward and upward and constantly. Now that we've got the YouTube feed back up, we've got our live chat back available, which is something we've missed for a long time. The fact that we've got the sponsors that are so great, whether it's the Rough Riders, whether it's House of Healing. We had the show at the Longhorn Ballroom where I got to sit down with Eric Nadell, voice of the Rangers.
Nice.
And Brad Sham. Brad Sham was like this close to me. And if you know anything about football and radio, you know who Brad Sham is. That man is the voice of the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
Like that team. I love that team. That man's a legend.
Yep.
And the Longhorn Ballroom was so much fun. We had such a blast at that show. You go to USA Film Festival this year, where I finally got to sit down with Billy Blair, who I've worked shows with for years. We actually had 2 different shows from Vegas this year. I was there in October, getting up at the butt crack of dawn to do a show with Alex. And then he did the show from Vegas while he was there for Mania. Mania is going to be back in Vegas next year, and it's going to be a beast. Alex had nothing but good things to say about every aspect of Mania week. And I think they're going to make it even better next year. I love the logo. It's very cool. Hoping we can find a way to get our butts out there for it, for something. I don't care if I'm just on the street listening. I don't care. I want to be there next year. The Real Owl Film Festival was a blast again this year. We got to see Jorge Gutierrez for the first time in a very long time, and he remembered us, which was awesome. This has been the best season of this show yet, and we still haven't peaked, in my opinion. So whether you've ridden with us since day one, whether this is your first episode, thank you. From the bottom of my heart. This has been my dream as long as I can remember. Getting to live out my radio fantasy, which has then parlayed itself into working Comic-Cons and interviewing people that I've been a fan of since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I get to talk to Sergeant Slaughter this weekend. Go back to 10-year-old me that I'm going to sit down with Sergeant Slaughter on stage, and we're going to talk about his life and career. So I get to live out my radio fantasy. I get to live out my Letterman fantasy. And, don't let people tell you not to chase your passions, because you're looking at 3 people on this screen right now who, if they'd have listened to those people, wouldn't be where they are, especially the guy that way from me. We've known LA for a long time. And that's part of the reason I wanted him on this show tonight when Alex couldn't make it. Because if you want to understand the entrepreneurial spirit, that's your guy. You want to understand what hustle is, that's your guy. You want to understand, as Don's least favorite wrestler says, you want to understand, never give up. That's your guy. Whether it's music, whether it's fashion, whether it's both, whether it's MC work, the fact that he's rode with us as long as he has, and all the people that we met at Fox and Hound, that's just part of the reason I want Steven on next week, because he's from them days too.
Yeah.
We really want to feature the people that have ridden with us for so long, even when things weren't great. They were never bad. There were times where it wasn't great, but it was never bad. And so, LA, I thank you, because you've always had our back. You've always been the one to help keep us motivated, even when we didn't want to be. And that's why we always want to give back to you and talk about MMGT clothing. And, when you got music stuff and acting stuff and all the things that you're doing, brother, we're so proud to call you a part of this family.
Thank you. I'm proud to be a part of it. Really
Alex, it's hard to believe Alex came to us 8 years ago.
Right after Faith or whatever,
Yeah, and Don was a guy we saw at pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And he got into the chat room and started helping us fact check. And then the next thing I know, he's sitting in my office at the old house every Sunday. One of the things that I hear a lot from people is what makes this show what it is because of the chemistry of the people on it. And I'll be real with every person watching this right now. Who we are right now, it's the same people you're going to see if you see us in real life. That's one of the things I've always prided this show on. We are the same guys that we are here, that we are if you see us at Kroger, if you see us at the movies, wherever we are. It's the same guys. And sometimes we're turned up to 11 a little bit because of the entertainment value. But Don coming to us, Don kind of Kevin Baconed us into screenings because his friendship with Gary Murray helped us kind of get that piece of it up and running. And I will always be thankful. Don's work at film festivals is unmatched. I don't care who you are. That man is a beast on 2 feet at film festivals, getting us some of the most amazing guests. Don's the reason we've had Leah Thompson. Don's the reason we've had John Landis. Don's the reason we've had Lord Miller, Jorge Gutierrez, Diego Luna. I just lost his name and I love him to death. One more shower. The list goes on and on and on and on. And we give Don a lot of grief because we can. It's one of those I can pick on my brother, but you can't pick on my brother kind of a thing.
So if I can real fast,
please do.
I want to, of course, of course, we're always going to thank Kelly Kitchens, Gary Murray, all of our reps.
Yep. All of our vendors that let us do.
Yeah. All the people. But of course, especially the Sunset Lounge, Becca, the Rough Riders this year, everything else. There's no show without you, Rob. Okay. And same to Alex and LA and Steven, you might joke about, hey, you get tired of this guy. You always say that to my wife, but, and that's the one last thing is there's 3 people we have to thank. Mm-hmm. And that is, and I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to say it, the sensational Shawnee, the lovely and talented Mrs. Urban, and the fantastic Faith Ford. Yep. Because if fantastic Faith Ford said, Don, I need more of you. Can you give up the show because I need you emotionally? No offense, but heartbeat, my wife.
Family comes first. It always does.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have spouses that support this madness, support these shenanigans, is important. People don't understand that these are some of my best friends. This is not. We're not a cast. We're a family. And sometimes, like LA, sometimes I don't see him for 6 months, but when I do, it's like we talk every day.
Yeah.
Steven's the same way. Mark Walters from BigFanboy.com is one of my closest friends. We talk all the time. Rachel, who's been on the show, is one of my favorite people on the planet. We've had Kat on the show. We've had my friend Heather on the show during the pandemic. I'm trying to get her to come back on the show, and her husband, Jason, they're actually going out of the country for a little while. It also gives me an excuse to hang out with my friends. It's kind of like people don't know that really the only reason the Cannonball Run happened was that Burt Reynolds was like, I just want to hang out with my friends and get paid for it. So we're just going to make a movie. Like, that's how I feel. This gives me an excuse to hang out with my friends. And here we are, 15. I still giggle when I say 15 years later. Like, I blinked and it's been a decade and a half. And we ain't stopping, bro. As long as there's breath in these lungs, Thursday night rolls around, 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be here. We're going to be somewhere.
Fast. What about, if you get possible to add to the network, adding the audio of the very, very first show to the network for.
I have done that before.
Yes.
I was out of town and we did an episode called Secret Origins that I played the very first episode of this show. That might be something for our Patreon.
That's what I'm saying.
Do some old episodes. I want to find the one where I had the meltdown about
the app,
downloading the app. I got to find that one. I've got that one somewhere because that was a home show. So I know I have that one.
Well, the best show, I think by far, was when we actually had the freestyle version of your outro.
If I remember correctly, I was so tired that I was just out of my gourd, spitting words, and it just went. Oh, and you guys just beating me into submission.
I had to beat him.
right into submission. I was so done. But and that's what people don't understand. Like, we have a run sheet we work from, but a lot of this stuff is shooting from the hip. And it's because we know each other so well. Like, and the fact that, I mean, look at this is episode 721, and it's really not.
And as much control as Rob has on the shows, that day
there was none.
He sat back. He sat back and just let it ride.
Well, you think about it, we've really done almost double that episodes if you count when the Cheap Podcast was its own show.
Yep.
All the old iTunes exclusives. We've hit 1,500 of these things easily.
Yep.
And we're going to keep doing it. So, gentlemen, thank you for 15 years. Let's do another 15. What do you say?
Sure.
I'm in.
Don't forget, tomorrow.
I just got warmed up.
Major announcement tomorrow. Follow us on social media, especially if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We don't care where you are, still follow us. But the announcement tomorrow is going to be specific to the DFW area. It's a huge announcement. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell you guys about this. In the meantime, make sure there's a QR code over there, upper right corner of the screen, over by LA. Scan other way. There you go. Scan that, get to all of our social media. All of it's there for you. Also, make sure that you check out www.theclubhousepodcast.com. Find out everything you need to know and some stuff you don't. Follow me on all your social medias if you would like. Everything is Yes, That Rob Irvin. It's actually right there. It's there. Everything is Yes, That Rob Irvin. My co-host, who hopefully will be back next week, I'm hoping, Alex Barnett. You can follow him at Vexploit, VEXPLOIT, on all of your social media. Also, make sure that you're going to ProWrestlingTees.com. Search for the Cheap Popcast. We got some more shirts coming very, very soon. We're very excited about that. So go out there, and if you want to submit an idea for a T-shirt, you can either do it with us, you can do it with MMGT, because LA's got some amazing stuff out there for you to check out too.
Something's coming out tomorrow.
LA, give them the plugs.
Oh, the plugs, of course, is LA Runs Dallas, all formats, all the time. But because I'm a businessman first, it is the CEO of MMTG Clothing. So you will go to MMTG Clothing at all formats just as well.
Making moves, thanking God.
Because we blessed to get you dressed.
Gotta let them know. See, I see what you did there. John, go.
We're able to get those awesome shirts that even make me look good. ProSteamTees.com/Cheap-Podcast. And Twitter, I'm at Boonoo at JUNUU. If you want to smash your place like we did last week at the Rough Hour Stadium, email me, don@theclubhousepodcast.com.
We love doing live remote shows, as we've done the last 2 weeks. Probably might have another one coming up very, very soon, so stay by the channel for that. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I'm rob@theclubhousepodcast.com. Charlotte Marshall is on Pinterest because we are morally obligated to say that. Our normal show every Thursday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, pro wrestling. That's the one. So until next time, for LA, for Don, for Alex, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed. Season 16 starts in 6 days and 21 hours.